All right, everybody, welcome to Unless You Live Hardcore, episode 18.
Hell
I
yeah,
am
dude.
Kyle Forsyth.
What's up, dude? Jake Ford here. How's it going, Kyle?
I'm doing good, man. A little sunburnt on the shoulders, but other than that, pretty
Yeah.
good.
I was gonna
I
say you
am,
don't look
dude.
like you got majorly sunburnt out at this festival.
It's hard because the lighting in here makes me very white. Like, even my arm looks white, but you can see the wristband
Yeah.
marker there.
Yeah, I can tell.
So there's the wristband marker. Also, like, if I
You
pull
got
this
some
down,
sun. Oh,
look at that.
you got a little farmer's tan, dude?
Dude, I got a little farmer's tan. I have a weird tan though. It's even weirder than this. So like I got a farmer's tan the first 2 days, and the last day I wore a tank top. And so I have like this weird fucking like tank top tan here, but
Yeah.
then I have like a farmer's tan on my arms. Like
Oh no,
it's
dude.
fucked up. I got like a dual tan. Like I came back, my wife saw me, and she's like, "This is who I'm married to." All right.
Oh
Yeah.
God. Ugh.
Yeah, she has to see it with the shirt up. With the shirt on, you can't even tell. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
show
Like,
me. Take your shirt off right now, Kyle.
no.
Show me, dude.
Okay. I have a picture,
Pop your top
honestly.
off, dude.
Yeah. I got a sweet ass Gideon shirt on. I can't right now, man. I got this at the fest. It's a nice Gideon
That is
shirt.
pretty dope shirt, man. Nice shirt.
Yeah. The back has like some shit on it too. It's cool. I like it.
Yeah. All right, give me a little
Yeah.
spin then, Kyle. If you're not gonna take your shirt off, then give me a little spin, dude.
It
I
just
want to see
says
the
no
back
one.
graphic.
It says no
No,
one,
don't
no love.
describe it. Give me this fucking spin, dude.
This is an audio medium for the most part.
I like how we just started this out with me sexually harassing you. That's fun, dude.
Oh
We
man,
still haven't
I
established the dynamic on the podcast yet.
no, yeah.
All right, yeah. Tell me about the fest, man. I'm excited to hear. I'm bummed I couldn't go, so I'm excited to hear about the fest.
Okay, I'm gonna run you through some of the fun things that I saw first at the festival. It's just things I jotted in my notes that were like interesting things I saw, and then we could go through ratings of all the bands I saw in a little bit because I saw so many fucking bands. I was outside so much. It was hot as a motherfucker on Friday, dude.
Yeah, it was hot as balls here, so I was like, dude, it's gotta be hot as fuck at
It
this
was hot as
festival.
fuck on Friday, but on Saturday it was mostly cloudy, and then there was a little bit of rain for like 15 minutes, and that 15 minutes was during Megadeth's set, which was the perfect time because they were dragging on. Like,
Oh yeah. How
yeah.
long did they play for?
They were supposed to do an hour and a half, but they ended up getting like cut short because Dave Mustaine saw the clouds coming in, so he rushed and did the hits. He did Peace Cells really quickly,
Nice.
and then he went into fuck. What's the other one? Their other mega hit.
Holy War, or no, probably
No.
Symphony of Destruction.
Symphony of Destruction, yes.
Yeah.
Symphony of Destruction. He rushed and did those two, and when he rushed and did those two, and I realized they still had like another 20 minutes in their set, and I felt the rain starting to come down, I was like, he knows what's about to happen. He knows their set's about to get cut short.
Yeah,
He's been doing this long
been
enough.
doing it for like 45 years or
Yeah,
something like that.
I was like, this dude knows he's doing the hits because he knows they're probably not going to get to do anything else. And then the rain came in right as they finished like Symphony of Destruction, and then everybody rushed to like some tents and stuff to like take cover for rain. And
Yeah.
then the rain went away after like 15 minutes, real quick. And then, but just enough to where they didn't have enough time in their set to do another song, so they just came out on stage and bowed. Yeah, they did a bow, and I was like, all right, yes, less Megadeth. I'm okay with that.
How dare you, dude? I would not have been okay with that. I love Megadeth.
Don't get me wrong, I like Megadeth, but Dave Mustaine is old. I've seen them before, and
Yeah, but
their
I just want to
set.
see people just rip on guitar, that dude. That's the best part about a Megadeth show. Is you're like, you're gonna just watch people be amazing at guitar.
That's fair. All right, if that's what you love seeing, then yeah, you did. They did rip on guitar. That's
Yeah,
true.
I could give a fuck
Um,
less about seeing, dude. I couldn't have given a fuck less about seeing Dave Mustaine sing back in like the '80s if I was around for it. You know what I mean? Like, that's
yeah,
not why anybody went to a Megadeth show, is to see Dave sing.
yeah, I get it. Yeah, they
Yeah,
did shred on guitar. I'll give you that.
yeah. No, he's amazing.
I
So
was
is like
glad
their new
they're.
guitar player that they've been touring with like the last 5 or 6 years. That guy is like out of this world. He's so good at guitar.
He was very good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um. So, all right, I'm gonna run you through the things that I saw.
Okay.
I was like, a lot of guys look like they're here for a Pantera. They don't really listen to the music. They just love Phil Anselmo's politics, I think. Um, that was more of a bit idea. I
Yeah.
forgot. Some of these are bit ideas. Some of these are things I saw. There's a shirtless guy being pulled around by a belt around his neck by a woman. She was
Wait,
just
hang on. Repeat that one more time.
so there was a
There's
guy
a
at the
gimp.
festival. Yeah,
We
no,
had a
not
metal
a
gimp.
gimp necessarily. Yes, but no. Like he didn't have like a gimp outfit on necessarily. He was shirtless though, and he
Okay.
had a belt around his neck, and like she was pulling him around the festival. And I didn't know what she looked like, but I remember this. Like he had a belt around his neck, just being pulled around. Like
Really?
yeah.
Did you tell them to cut it out, dude?
No. I was like, this is crazy.
That's
I
why
should
I
write this
can't
down.
go to these things because I would have been like, hey, can you guys cut it out, please? There's literally fucking kids around this festival. Knock it
Yeah.
off.
Yeah, it is
Go be
crazy.
weird at some fucking EDM festival, dude. Get out of here.
Yeah, that was strange. This was just something that I thought was a great idea. There was a cafeteria at the campgrounds,
Yeah.
and like they served biscuits and gravy in the morning, which felt like a missed opportunity to call it limp biscuits and gravy. It feels like a missed opportunity to me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like,
Are
if I
you
was
like
if
running
I
these
was making
jokes you're gonna do on stage about this festival? Is that a joke you're gonna do?
no, I mean it's genuinely what I think.
Okay, no, I
This is
thought okay
like if I was
because it's
making because
funny.
they had a menu on the wall, like with
Yeah,
the list of items that you could get, like a printed menu that was like labeled with incarceration and branded, and I'm like, who made this? Like their marketing department sucks. Like,
yeah.
you should have like
I mean,
come
to be
on.
fair, knowing the origins of what a limp biscuit is, I don't know if that would have been a good selling point for food necessarily, dude. Like,
Oh
yeah,
man.
good, like a good pun. That's pretty clever, but
I
I don't
think I
know,
should. I
dude.
don't know, man. I think I should be in charge of this. So, you can at the festival you can buy merch that's either design that's like branded merch for incarceration that is designed to either look like a cop or like a like a prison off warden, or you can buy one that looks like a prisoner. And I was in my head, I'm like, I think your purchase says a lot about how you view yourself in society. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
like if I saw one of the guys in the cop one, I was like, he like fetishizes cops. But every time I saw one of the guys in like the prison ones, they always looked like they do meth. Like, they- I was like, yeah, that makes sense. You'd be wearing the prisoner one.
Yeah, the
Like
jailbird,
every
dude.
time I saw one, dude, like every time, like you could see it, like the
These
one.
types of festivals really do draw in the riffraff, dude.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie, like,
it's a weird thing where it's like some of the people like bought like the prison guard like branded incarceration thing, and like they're like, oh yeah, I look like a prison guard from Incarceration, and like the other dudes are like buying ones that look like the prisoner, and it's like I think it's very telling of your personality on which one you buy. Also, I would like to say I found out in one of the groups that apparently they sold out of the prisoner one, but I don't think they sold out of the cop one,
yeah.
which also says a lot about the people attending this festival.
Yeah, I mean, good on them for not selling out of the cop one, dude.
Dude, I just think it's funny about the people it's drawing in. It for sure tracks like that they sold out of the
Yeah.
prisoner one and not the cop one.
Yeah, I mean, this shit. Jesus Christ. I forget it is like a tattoo festival. Like they do have like
I
tattoo artists there. You
They
didn't get
did.
tatted up, did you?
I did not. It was the line was so long I didn't even go in the tattoo area. It
Yeah.
was so fucking long, dude. I wanted to see bands for the most part. That's why I was there. I was there for
Right,
music, you know.
right.
And at a certain point, I knew I wasn't gonna get tattooed, even if I went in there. So I was like, what's the fucking point? Um,
Yeah, that's a
yeah,
good point. I mean, why waste time, dude?
yeah. Especially if I could be
Why
seeing
waste time when
bands.
you could have saw Devils? You could have been seeing Devil's Envy. So
I didn't see them actually.
yeah,
Yeah.
that was the one
Um,
that was mad at you, right?
yes.
Okay, that's what I thought.
He talked shit to somebody else in the group recently too. I saw it.
Oh, great.
Yeah, and it turns out
You
I
didn't
went to
even
his
like
profile.
stop by their set to see how many people showed up for it.
No,
Okay.
I went to his profile actually, just like because I saw him talking shit to somebody else. I was like, "Is that the same guy?" And I went to it. I was like, "That's the same guy." He also is like touring manager for like POD and stuff.
The guy from Devil's Envy.
Lead singer, yeah.
That's funny.
Mm-hmm. Has been for years. I don't know. Interesting, right?
Yeah, I mean, sure, small world, I guess.
Yeah, POD was also on the festival, so. Yeah. But it
Hmm.
also makes sense why he's connected in the industry maybe a little bit. Like, even though his band was on the small stage and they had to like get voted in there and stuff, it makes sense why they might have a little bit of a built-in fan base because this guy's been working in the music industry for years. So it's like anything he does, he'll probably have a small amount of people who do get interested in it out of the gate.
Yeah. I saw Alfonso from Heartsick post photos from their set, and like a lot of people showed up for them. It looked like they had like a massive crowd for like playing one of the smaller stages, which is pretty
Yeah.
dope to see.
Some of the bands had really big crowds. There's a band called Fight From Within, which is like a pretty heavy band. They're pretty decent. You might actually like them.
I think we listened to them.
Maybe their most recent EP is pretty decent. Like it's good. It's heavy.
Yeah.
And they apparently had like around 1,000 or 2,000 people over there. 2,000
Mm.
is pretty big for that small space. It was a smaller space
I'll tell you
over
what,
there.
dude. If Incarceration books Teeth next year, I will definitely be going.
Yeah.
I've been listening to them nonstop recently, so I'll definitely be going. Been trying to learn all the drum parts on that EP or just memorize them because they're just so fucking sick. It's dope.
I I haven't listened to it in a minute.
Yeah, yeah.
Um.
Anyways,
Oh, all right. Yeah. A few more things. I feel it. So the type of people that were there, I was like just looking around at one point when I was just like sitting around waiting for a band to come on, and like I noted this about the people. It's a weird mix of like women wearing lingerie and they're dudes that look like they want to fight you for looking at their girl. Like it's
yeah,
like
yeah,
a lot of
yeah,
those, like where it's like a woman wearing lingerie out in public, but a dude who looks like I'll fucking fight you if you look at her, dude. Like,
yeah. I
it's
mean,
that. Like,
I saw some pics from the group of like some ladies posting their out. Dude, the amount of thirst in this group is out of control.
yeah.
They like I don't even need to go to the festival. The fucking group is entertaining enough, dude. I'm so glad I joined without even buying tickets because this has been extremely entertaining.
Yeah, man, it's very interesting. The group is very
It's
entertaining.
very trashy.
Yeah,
It's
it
like
is.
honestly one of the trashiest online communities I think I've ever seen.
It is based out of Ohio, kind of. So.
Yeah, dude, it's pretty rough. Like some of these people are coming from that fucking city that got the chemical spill in Ohio, dude.
For real.
These fucking mutants are showing up to the festival.
Oh, but yeah. Okay.
That's how those guys got so big and strong, dude. The ones that are gonna fight you for looking at their girls
It's
that are
not even
literally
like big and
naked.
dude. It's not even big and strong guys all the time.
They're just mean
Some of them,
mugging you.
some of them just look really methed out.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
like,
That'll make you aggressive too.
yeah, just like scraggly dudes with like massive eyes and a few teeth. Like that, those dudes.
Hell yeah, dog.
Where they're like, I have nothing to lose. I've been to prison.
Can I read you? Can I read you this? Can I read you this post from the Facebook? Also the name of this Facebook group is insanely trashy as well. The Incarceration Festival Inmates.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird how much like people are fetishizing jail over this fucking rock and roll festival, dude. But I'm gonna read you this post that is extremely trashy from this guy Grayson. It's not even about him, it's about a lady crowd surfing. It says, to the young lady crowd surfing Saturday with her pad out, wear a tampon if you're gonna wear coochie cutters and fishnets. I don't know what BBG means. He said self-respect and courtesy for your fellow ink mates. Also cringe at the end. Somebody commented on this though and said, hey Alexa, play Slayer's Raining Blood. It's pretty
Dude,
good.
there's so many complaints in the group about people crowd surfing, and it's like, there was a lot of people crowd surfing where like during fucking Slipknot set, I was like not in the front, but like kind of in the middle back-ish, sort of. There's a lot of people crowd surfing to the point where like I don't hold people who are crowd surfing, so every time I'd see people would be like, somebody's incoming, I'd just move out of the way.
I mean, that's the best thing you can do is to just like get out of the way. Like
That's what
I'm
I
not.
thought, dude. And then I started getting like dirty looks from these big dudes who were like carrying every person. And I'm like, they'd like give me a dirty look after they would crowd surf somebody. It's like, get the fuck out of it. Don't give me a dirty
Yeah,
look
dude.
like I did something
I'm not
wrong.
obligated to do anything.
I'm 5'6", 180. I'm not built for this.
Yeah, dude. We're I imagine the stages were pretty big, so people probably weren't getting on them. Did no crowd diving? I'm imagining.
No crowd diving because they had the barriers there.
It's kind of what I figured. Yeah.
Yeah. There was some fucking
Dude,
pits.
I saw
Lamb
this
of God did a wall of
crazy.
death.
I saw this crazy crowd dive from like I don't know if it was Rolling Loud recently or something. It was some rap festival, but this dude did like this crowd dive from like 30 feet away and like from like one of those like big festival stages that's like really high up and has a barricade.
Hmm.
Like he just ran out and dove into and nobody caught this man. Like I'm like, dude, this guy definitely just like broke his fucking neck. I gotta send you this clip.
Yeah, there was nobody that did crowd diving. None of that.
Okay. I figured.
Some
I figured the
artists,
stages weren't really designed.
some musicians went into the crowd. I will say one of the highlights of the weekend is Alex Terrible from Slaughter to Prevail beat his head in with a microphone and made himself bleed from the forehead.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he put the microphone down on like the stage to like do like a big scream that was coming up. He's like, I don't need a fucking microphone, and like put it down, and like he did a crazy scream that you could hear throughout the crowd without the microphone, and then he picks up the microphone during the breakdown and he's just bah, bah, like just slamming the microphone into his head and then stops doing it and it just starts bleeding down his face. Like,
oh my god.
crazy, dude. That guy's nuts. And I was like, this guy's fucking phenomenal. Like I'm watching it like
dude.
this is entertainment at its finest. This guy is giving us his all up there, you know?
Yeah,
like,
dude.
I was like, he put the microphone down to scream as loud as he possibly could, and then picked it up just to beat his head in and make himself bleed. He like, it's some fucking like.
Oh yeah, I
It's
see
some,
a
like,
picture of it right here.
Yeah, it's like some like are you not entertained type shit, you know? Like,
Yeah.
where I'm like, this fucking Russian dude he's the tits, man. He is the
Well,
greatest.
you heard it here first, folks. Kyle supports Russia, dude. You heard it here first.
These
Yeah,
Russian
no, these,
dudes who live
that
in
is
America.
sick. That band is gnarly. So I mean, that would have been fun to see.
Dude, you could just hear the microphone just like hitting them in the head, you know? Like they didn't mute the microphone. You should go clunk, clunk. Like you know what it sounds like when somebody hits the microphone with like their fucking, you know, they pulled the Chappelle and slap it on their knee or something.
Right.
And it makes a sound. Imagine that sound just fucking amplified because he's slamming it into his head. Like it was brutal. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, this festival does look like a lot of fun. I'm sure it was pretty dope.
Yeah. Oh, I have a few more things I saw there. Okay.
All right.
I realized I'm not masculine there. There's a lot of masculine dudes, and every time every time an artist would be like, make some noise, like all the dudes are like, yeah, like I would go, woo, like.
Oh my god, Kyle. Yeah. Get it together, man. What the fuck?
I can't help it. It's like innate.
Throwing out
like
woos like it's a BTS concert. What the fuck, dude?
I don't. It's not instinctual in me to just go, yeah. Like I don't sound like that at any given moment, like ever. So it feels so unnatural. It feels more in my realm to be like, woo. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that you do seem like a wooer, honestly. I can, yeah.
Yeah, and like I kept doing it, and at a certain point, I realized I was like, none of the men around me are doing that. Like...
Yeah, man. I mean, sometimes you should just fake it, man.
Yeah. I saw a man in a gas mask and a Juggalo hockey jersey propose to a woman in underwear and a crop top who should not have been wearing just underwear and a crop top.
Okay, you're gonna have to. That was a lot to take in. So I'm gonna need you to like go back and slow that down.
Okay.
That was a lot.
I saw a man in a gas mask and a Juggalo hockey jersey propose to
Okay.
a woman in underwear and a crop top who should not have been wearing underwear and a crop top.
Well, if he's wearing a gas mask, you can only imagine what he fucking looks like, Kyle. So,
No, he had it on top of his head because it's a
oh,
sweet
okay.
moment where he got
Oh,
down
was
on
he
one
very
knee.
handsome then, Kyle? Was he extremely handsome then? This guy wearing a Juggalo jersey? Is he a real fucking Ryan Gosling, Ken looking type, dude?
Nah, he was more of a Violent J looking type.
Yeah, that's kind of what I figured. Looking a
Yeah.
little methed out, dude. Yeah, I'm seeing uh like videos and photos from the festival right now, just kind of scrolling through the group. And this is like, yeah, this is trashy Midwest white people, dude.
Yeah, oh for sure, dude. It's like I thought it was so funny because it's like a bunch of people cheered when he like got down and proposed. I wasn't looking and like I hear a bunch of cheering and so I turn around because a band that's in between bands, and I look back
Yeah.
and then I see this dude down on one knee and her being like, "Oh my god," or whatever, and like, and I look at the
What
dude
band
like
was playing?
he has it. It was right before Lamb of God, I think maybe.
Oh my
Maybe.
god, that is incredible.
I could be wrong, but
That
like
is
he has the fucking gas mask sitting on top of his head, you know, just like, and then like I look at his outfit, it's a Juggalo jersey and some shorts, and then like she's just wearing literally underwear and like I call it a crop top, but it looked more like a tank top that didn't fit anymore.
yeah. I mean, that's
Yeah.
I'm trying to dude. If you think that proposal was white trash, imagine what the reception's gonna look like, dude.
Oh, dude, it's gonna have like a Fago flavored cake.
Yeah.
It's like,
Their
they're
wedding
gonna
band, their wedding band's gonna be Devil's Envy.
have... yeah. Oh man, on the inside of his ring, it's just gonna be engraved saying "whoop whoop."
God, dude. Yeah, Juggalo wedding. Oof.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
man.
seeing photos from Pantera's set right now. This looks like it was badass. What was Pantera's set like?
All right. Oh, all right. I'll go through all the sets. I have one last thing to say. I saw a dude
Okay.
wearing a dude who had a "We the People" tattoo, and he was smoking weed in Ohio. And I was just like, all right. So we decide which laws we obey. Like I love seeing somebody with like a "We the People obey all the laws," breaking a law in any way. Like you could be speeding with a "We the People" sticker, and I'd feel the same way as a dude smoking weed in Ohio to me. Like it's funny to see somebody who fetishizes the law breaking the law. Like I don't know. I really enjoy that. I get a kick out of it.
Rules for thee, not for me.
Yeah. So, all right. We can go through all of the bands. I'll get to Pantera.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll start. We'll go in order of days. Pantera was Saturday, so I'll start on Thursday. I saw two bands Thursday at the campgrounds. I saw Southbound Beretta and Silly Goose.
Yeah.
Southbound Beretta was like that southern metal band we listened to.
Yep, I remember.
They're pretty fucking ripper live. I mean, I only gave them a 6.5. You know, it's hard at the campgrounds. Their sound.
Oh,
wasn't...
you got a Forsyth rating scale for the festival, dude?
Oh, dude, everything
you put
out of
everything
10.
together on a 1 through 10 scale, dude?
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
All right.
Every band.
Yeah.
Every
right.
band.
I trust your authority on this. Hell yeah, dude.
I give them a 6.5.
Okay.
Fine. You know, they were fun to watch, but not amazing.
Yeah.
Silly Goose performed. I gave them a 7.5. I was a little toasty at that point, if I'll be honest with you. I was a little drunk and a little high. And
yeah.
Because they went on at like...
Oh, so you did drink at the fest?
Only on Thursday
okay.
night at the campgrounds. And I really only had like 3/4 of a PBR and one of those cut waters. You know those Cutwater drinks?
No, what the hell is a Cutwater, dude?
It's like a canned cocktail.
Oh, okay.
They they're
Sounds gross.
they're pretty. They're getting mass distributed pretty hard now. You can find them pretty much any liquor store.
Okay.
But uh, Cutwater, they're fine. They're pretty good, I guess. But it's like 11.5 ABV.
Oh, yeah,
And
that's too much.
I had one of those, and then like 3/4 of a PBR and some weed, and I was like, I was feeling it by Silly Goose's set.
Yeah, I'm
So
sure.
I had to switch to water. It was only like I had those two drinks, and I was like, I gotta switch to water. So Silly Goose was like a 7.5. They had phenomenal energy. But they're young, and you could like they really got people going for a small fucking campground audience at like midnight, I think, or something like that. Yeah, they went up at like midnight. So
that's fun.
Yeah. Friday was the real festival. And I actually wrote things for each of these bands. I didn't write things for like Silly Goose and.
How far was the campground away from the festival?
It was like 4 miles, but we had buses that bussed us back and forth. It was literally school buses from the school district that they weren't using.
Did you hear any trashy tent sex noises around you when you were trying to sleep?
Me.
That's
No.
good. That's good.
I fell asleep pretty quick once I got.
I'm
back
sure
to the
it gets
campsite.
exhausting. Yeah.
Yeah. So Friday, first band I saw the day was Thousand Below. I gave him a 5. All the songs sound the same. The lead singer lacked charisma at times, and he seemed to lack the general will to be there.
Wait, what band is this?
Thousand Below.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
Generic metalcore.
Sure.
You know, heavy on the singing. The singer was a good singer, but like he wasn't a good front man. Vended was up next. I gave them a 6.5. And I was excited to see them too. Good energy. I really like the band, obviously. We've talked about them before. I'm a fan of their music. The clean vocals definitely need improvement live, which is something we talked about on this podcast, but we talked about them before, like even on, like we said, like I was like, I feel like these vocals are heavily edited, and like you said it too. At one point, you're like, I feel like live these vocals won't be good, and we both were like, yeah, I think so, and we were both correct. The live, his clean vocals are not good. He needs improvement.
Not surprising.
But the screaming was fucking great. He's got like the heavy vocals down phenomenally. They did 2 new unreleased songs and like a 5 to 6 song set list. Bad move. Like,
yeah.
You got music that some of these people actually know. Like, you got 5 to 6 songs. Why are you doing 2 songs that people definitely don't know?
Yeah, I mean, that's a fair point.
That's just my opinion. We Came as Romans, 7. I gave them a 7. Good performance. I didn't know the songs for the most part, to be honest with you. Like, I don't keep up with their current shit for the most part, and it felt like a lot of that.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So, Chelsea Grin, I gave them a 9. Great performance, phenomenal energy. The vocalist was like really got the crowd going. Like, I mean, like had mosh pits and fucking wall of death. Like, had great energy, could get people bouncing and everything, like and jumping up and down. Like, he was able to command the crowd well. And then he also brought his girlfriend out on stage at one point and proposed to her, and that was fucking great.
Nice, dude.
Dude, like he stopped the show because he was like he made everybody think that there's somebody fell in the pit, and he was like, bring the show to a halt. Hold on, somebody fell. We need to stop. Help them out. And then like he stopped. The band sort of like went off side stage, and then like he brought his girlfriend out on stage and like did a little speech about like, this is my girlfriend. She's turned me from a boy to a man, whatever, that stuff. And then got down on one knee and proposed to her. And at first I was like, is this part of the show? This would be weird for Chelsea Grin to be doing this. And then I was like, oh no, this is real. Like, and then I was like, that's fucking awesome. And it was a beautiful moment. I teared up. I had sunglasses on, so I didn't let anybody know.
Yeah, you
let
out
a metalhead dudes.
You're just like, woo.
Yeah, it was a beautiful moment. It was really touching, and like I loved that he did that. It makes sense he did it at like a Danny Wimmer Presents type festival because they're recording it all professionally, like on like nice cameras and everything. So it's a great moment as a musician to do it because you know it's gonna get captured in like HD, and they're gonna probably post it to their social media and stuff, which I think that they did on the Inkcarceration page. So it's like, it's a good way to do it. He knows it's like a way for it to blow up. What I realize about this type of festival, because there's professional equipment recording it at all times, like high-end cameras and everything from every fucking angle, a lot of these bands will go all out and try and do the crazy shit that they know might get views or go viral or something, because it'll get released as a clip if it's good enough. Because they have a social media team cutting clips from all the good shit, which is like why I think Alex the Terrible did like beating his head in with a microphone, why lead singer Chelsea Grin proposed to his girlfriend, you know? It's like certain things I think they do at the festival that they wouldn't do at a normal show because they know there's more media attention at it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, sure.
I realized that after like seeing the Slaughter to Prevail set. At first I thought it, like, I didn't realize it during the Chelsea Grin one. I was like, oh, I was like, why is he doing it at this festival? I was like, I guess it's a big festival, so maybe it's a big moment or something. There's a lot more audience than probably one of their usual shows. But yeah, it was great. It was a cool moment. So I gave them a 9. I mean, it was a great performance anyways, but also that moment really brought it up, I think, for me. So, cool set. Then after that, I had to watch Hate Breed.
How do you think Ashley would have reacted if you proposed to her at a metal festival wearing a gas mask on your head and a Juggalo jersey, dude? You think she would have still loved you enough?
I think if I owned a Juggalo jersey, she wouldn't love me enough. I think that might be a disqualifier.
All right. That's respectable. I knew I liked her.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm dangerously close to like some. On paper, I seem like a guy who would own a Juggalo jersey.
Like, nah, but you do look like you would have like liked them when you were growing up. Did you like Insane Clown Posse when you were young?
What? What do you mean?
Yeah, you did, didn't you? Wow.
I liked them as a strong word. Dressed up like them for Halloween once at school, that's a different thing.
That means you loved them. You ever put the face paint on, dude? That means you loved them. I know. Okay. I could never get into them. Even as a kid, I was like, this shit is fucking stupid. And like, man, as an adult, I respect them as people because they do a lot for people, and I think they're cool guys. But I just could never get into the music. I thought it was whack.
All right. So here's what I'll say.
Sorry, dude.
No, you don't need to apologize. So here's what I'll say. As a child, I discovered who they were in about 4th grade, and I thought I liked the concept more than I ever did their music. I only listened to maybe 3 songs ever, and I could probably only name 1 or 2 of them for you right now off the top of my head.
Yeah. I mean, I know the one where they're questioning how magnets work.
I don't even know the name of that one.
Miracles? You don't know Miracles?
I'm aware of it, but I don't know the name of it.
It's Miracles.
Okay. I'm glad you know.
Dude, you gotta watch that music video. It is hilarious.
I know a song called Homies. And then I know their song Slim Anus, where they just make fun of Eminem for being gay.
Yeah. Yep.
Just wild in hindsight.
Yeah, I'm aware of Slim Anus.
Dude, I played that for my wife like a month ago. She had never heard it before in her whole life.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I was like, have you ever heard Slim Anus by Insane Clown Posse? Like, because it's the real Slim Shady is what they remake. And then so we heard the real, like, we had the radio on in the car, and the real Slim Shady came on the radio, and I was like, have you ever heard ICP's version of this, Slim Anus? And she's like, no. And I was like, you've never heard Slim Anus? I was like, are you sure? I was like, where it's like ICP basically calls Eminem gay for the whole entire like length of the real Slim Shady. She's like, I've never heard that. I was like, you're about to. And like, she was like, she genuinely is somebody who is a pansexual identifying woman, laughed pretty hard at that song.
I mean, it's a funny track.
It is. Like, it's somebody who, like, if she heard that type of stuff being made these days, like, she'd be like, that's not funny. That's pretty bad. You know, like, like she heard it in hindsight, like, and she's like, that, she was laughing. Like, and it's like, I was like, this could be hit or miss. Either she's gonna laugh at this or be like, this is fucking insane, and sit there with a straight face the whole time. And like, she laughed. It was like, that's pretty funny. And I was like, I know. I was like, it's insane. I was like, if somebody made this today though, like they'd probably get in some hot water.
I mean,
Like,
Eminem got in trouble like a few years ago for calling Tyler the Creator you know.
yeah, it's very interesting.
Yeah. Do you think this is possible? Do you think it would be possible for us to somehow with this podcast start a beef with the Insane Clown Posse?
I have no interest in that. It's
Why?
too the Juggalos are too big of an organization.
Yeah, no, they're a terrorist organization technically.
they are a gang.
Under the FBI, they're not they're considered a gang. I guess not a terrorist
Hmm.
organization, but
They are a
that's
gang.
kind of what gangs are when you really break what gangs down. You really break down what gangs do. That's kind of what gangs are.
They are a criminal organization, as the FBI describes it.
Yeah.
It's
You don't
insane.
want to start some beef, dude?
No, I'm good.
All right.
We should
Fair
probably get back
enough.
to these fucking ratings. I have
Fair
so
enough,
many of
dude.
them,
If you're
dude.
wooing in crowds, I guess yeah, you're not trying to start a beef with a gang.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't even finish. So I know those few songs by ICP, and when I was a little child, I knew those like 2 or 3 songs.
Yeah.
And I wore the makeup to school because they were like, "Oh, you can't wear masks to school on Halloween." It was on
Okay.
Halloween. Sorry, I should clarify.
I was gonna
that.
say, you
It
just
wasn't
did that on like
on a
on like a
Tuesday.
Taco Tuesday.
No, dude, it was Halloween. Yeah, I just
Thank
show up
God.
on April 3rd. Like,
Even if being Halloween, that's still bad, dude. You couldn't have been like a
well,
vampire or some shit, dude.
nah, dude. I liked creepy shit, always have. And so like to me, I liked hip hop music and like weird creepy shit and like
Yeah.
and so at the time I found Insane Clown Posse and I loved the imagery of them more than I actually listened to their music at all. Honestly, I tried listening to some of their music and I was like, this is weird. I don't totally love this. So it's just kind of a poser, if I'm being honest with you, which is almost worse as being an ICP poser. Like, and I was in
Yeah,
like
that's
fourth
horrendous.
grade. Like, I
That's
didn't know.
horrific,
I
dude.
didn't know, dude.
Yeah, I
was
mean, you can't like. I'm not gonna fault you for being a poser when you're like 9. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like
I was like an ICP
everybody's
poser.
guilty of being a poser on something at some point in their lives. So you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
And so I did that, and I went to school on Halloween with Shaggy 2 Dope makeup, I think, because his was like the easier one to do, if I'm right. Um, and like I just had my mom do it
Yeah, you
or
didn't want to
whatever.
get
And
too
like,
tricky with
well,
it.
dude, my school was like, you can't wear masks to school on Halloween. They made
Yeah,
that a
yeah.
rule, and I was like, all right. They didn't say shit about face paint. So I showed up to school in the morning. Only kid I think in my whole elementary with full face paint on. Just being like, I'll defy the rules. What are you gonna do? Make me wash it off? Like
Yeah, I mean they could have. They would today. They'd be like,
they
"Get the no, get that out. You're freaking everybody out, dude."
yeah, they could have.
If this
But I
schools are
did
war zones
scare
now. We
little
gotta.
children. I did
Yeah,
scare younger children in the school all
of
day.
course you did.
And I thought it was funny. I was in like fourth
Nice,
grade.
dude.
Yeah.
Traumatizing those kids. Anyway, what else happened at the fest, dude?
All right. Okay.
Go through
Keep
these
moving.
bands. Yeah.
Hatebreed. I saw Hatebreed next.
Nice.
6. I gave him a 6.
Yeah.
Should be a 5, but they had some pro moves, like doing a lot of call outs, giving each of the members their shine, sort of, and that brought it up a point to me where, you know, they let the guitarist rip, bassist rip, like drummer go for a minute. Jamie Josta was like, you can tell he's a pro at what he does. They've been doing it for a
Yeah.
long time. Like, and he's a pro front man. I just, like, it's once you hear a couple Hatebreed songs, you're like, all right, I get it. Like it's
I mean,
they
that's
all
just
did,
kind of like hardcore, though. Like a lot of hardcore just sounds the same.
some yeah I mean Gideon didn't feel that way. I guess they had a shorter set, you know, but
That's
it's
not
like
like Gideon's not like a traditional hardcore band.
yeah, I guess it's just Hatebreed. I don't know, it all at a certain point they had an hour of Hatebreed, or I think maybe a little less than that probably, but
An
it just
hour? I mean, I would get
might have
tired of
been.
Hatebreed after an hour for sure.
Yeah, I think it was at least 45 minutes to an hour. It was a lot of Hatebreed, dude.
That's a lot. That's also hardcore songs are so short. That's like a lot of fucking songs. They
That's what
probably
I
ripped
mean.
through like 60 songs, dude.
That's what I mean, dude. Like it felt
No,
long. The
not
set
that
felt
long, but
long. That's why it kind
not
of
that
came
many,
down.
but yeah.
After that was Fit for a King.
All right.
Which like I'm kind of tepid on their music. They have some good stuff, but then they have some stuff I don't really give a fuck about. They're kind of generic in some ways, but they had a 7.5 from me overall. The music kicked ass live. They had good performances and like good energy, and they were like really tight as a band. You know, like their shit was just together. They were all playing really well together. All the members had good energy. It wasn't like just the front man, you know, who
Yeah.
had good energy. All of them were bringing energy to the stage, and they
Okay.
were like really performing and putting it on. And it was, and they none of them were trying to be frontmen besides the front man, but they all brought energy to the performance, and that goes a long way for me. They just had a really tight sound too. A lot of bands, you know, like live, their sound is a lot looser in a way. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
you can. I mean, a lot of bands are sloppy. You can just call it what it
Yeah.
is.
This band is a headliner, and you could tell that they got their shit together. They usually headline their tours, or at least lately. And yeah, you could tell they have their shit together, and it's tight.
Yeah.
Coal Chamber was next.
Nice.
8.5. I gave him an
Yeah.
8.5, dude. I'm not a big Coal Chamber fan, dude, but like they played the few hits I knew. They fucking nailed it. It's like what you would hope for from Coal Chamber and more. Like the vocalist is a great vocal. Like he's still fucking got his vocals, which is shocking considering all that he's been through, all the drugs and shit he's done over the years and alcohol and shit that he's consumed. Like you would think he's like kind of lost it in some way, but they fucking ripped, man. They ripped live, and they sounded great. They had great energy too. Like they put on a good performance. I don't know, like it really got me where I was like, I didn't expect that band to be very good live. I'm not even a huge fan of their music, but I saw them live and I saw the music and I was like, that was good. I liked
Did
that.
you tear up during Coal Chamber too,
Nah,
or you just do some
dude.
just give them some woos?
Nah, just some woos.
All right. Fair
Yeah.
enough.
Lead singer has a wild tattoo though. He has like a big lip tattoo that comes down from his lip down his chin, and it looks like he has like a little chin strap beard. And then when the camera gets close to him, you realize like, oh, it's just a massive tattoo down his chin.
That's kind of sick though.
Yeah, it's wild looking. It's trippy looking at first. It's interesting. After Coal Chamber, Suicide Silence.
Nice.
They got an 8. Vocalist is great. Band was fucking sick, dude.
Yeah,
They
I believe it. They've been doing it forever, so
Yeah, very tight as a band. They even had like a couple hiccups with tech issues, I think, during their set, and they figured it out like at the beginning with the vocals, like you couldn't hear the vocals or whatever in the mix, and they still pulled it together. They were great. Yeah.
nice.
Uh, and then Highly Suspect. You familiar with Highly Suspect much?
Yeah, yeah. They're like a radio rock band. They got some good stuff.
Yeah, it doesn't like totally fit into this festival. It didn't feel like, but it was like it was
I've
a
heard
little.
they're like really good live.
Yeah, it was a little slow at part. I gave him a 7.5. A
Okay.
little slow at parts, but a very well constructed set. Like it was very well constructed. They had great transitions in between songs and stuff. The vocalist was just on point, dude. Like he was nailing it. Uh, Fantastic voice. It was a little trippy too. Like their music is a little trippy and like very sort of like jammy as well. Like they just sort of jam out at points, you know. And
Yeah.
that's kind of fun. Yeah, they are good live. I'm not a fan. Like I don't follow their music or anything. I've heard some of it leading up to the festival on a
Yeah, I
playlist.
used to hear them on the radio all the time, and like for a radio rock band, they're pretty good. They don't
Yeah,
really sound generic. They kind of remind me more of like an early 2000s radio rock band, like a little grungy.
yeah. The vocalist seems like he has a drug problem, probably.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
If I'm being honest, yeah, you know, like I mean, yeah, you know when like you see a vocalist and you're like, yeah, this guy is probably on something, but he seems to be all here, you know.
Yeah, I mean if his voice sounded good, he probably wasn't.
I don't know, dude.
I mean, dude,
Yeah,
if you're doing coke or drinking, your voice gets shot immediately, so
yeah. I
it's probably
mean,
just a big
maybe.
pothead.
I think there's other stuff.
Maybe he's into
I've heard him like
psychedelics, dude.
I've heard him talk a little bit. They're definitely into psychedelics. I can tell by their backdrop, like on
Then yeah, they're
stage.
probably it's probably just that then, dude.
Yeah, probably. All right, we'll keep moving. POD.
You're
POD
so
was an 8.
alive.
It's their closer, dude.
Oh,
Uh,
they didn't just open with it?
no, they
They
opened
didn't just
with
play that over and over again?
Doug. Yeah, I mean, they got that, or they can open with the other big hit, which is boom. Here comes the boom, which is that
They
was the
play that?
opener. That was the
Oh,
opener.
they did? Nice,
Yeah,
nice, nice.
come on,
That's a better opener, yeah.
you open with or you close with your best song and you open with your second best. Isn't that like the rule or whatever for like big bands? It's like what some comedians say they try to do as well.
Yeah, yeah. Open with
Um,
your second best joke, close with your best or whatever.
yeah, so I've heard comedians say they operate that same way sometimes.
Mm.
But that's how it felt with PODs. I was like, okay. Yeah, I mean, although like, I guess it's all subject to opinion. There, that's all subjective. But POD was an 8. I put it would be a 9, but they had a religious spiel in the middle and end. Which, of course, you know. And then they did some old guy rant about like the lead singer did some old guy rant about not needing laptops to play because they had to like do extra time. I think because the band after them was Volbeat, and Volbeat was having like I think tech issues, so they asked like POD to do a couple extra songs, and the lead singer's like, "Yeah, tech." He's like, "We don't have issues with tech. We're gonna do a couple more songs with you because we don't have to use fucking laptops. We just play because we're a band." Like, and I was like, "Oh, you're so cool, dude." Like,
I kind of like that. That's pretty funny.
it is, but it felt very like old manny, you know?
Oh, it's
Like,
very
yeah.
like old nanny take. Yeah, I mean, it's
Yeah,
like, dude.
yeah. We don't use laptops. We just use our instruments, dude. We
Yeah,
don't.
yeah.
Yeah. So like, he sort of said some shit about that, and then also like a couple religious spiels that I had to hear, where I was like, okay, I get it. You're
I
POD. I understand.
also I don't
Um,
get how all these bands are like consistently having laptop issues when it comes to like playing with backtracks. I'm like, dude.
I think it was just something going on with Volbeat's setup because it was before they went on. So I think it might have just been like a tech issue or something. But like he said something about like we don't need a laptop or any like thing like that. We just play instruments, and it was like,
I'm just
ooh,
saying, like, we used to run backtracks in Sycamore, and like, we never had an issue. Victor had like a 2010 MacBook, and we never had an issue with it, dude.
I don't know. It could have been the venue though. You know what I mean? Like it could have been a back end tech issue, and the fucking vocalist Sonny from POD didn't really know what he was talking about.
Yeah,
I think
that's
he just knew
true.
it was a tech issue, and that's
I'm
all
just
he
saying,
really
bands
knew.
seem to have that all the time, where they're like, laptops are down, we can't play, and it's like, what?
Yeah.
What do you mean the laptop is down, dude? You didn't charge it or something? Like, what do you mean?
That band on Sunday, I think the band Clifford it was.
Yeah,
They were using like a fucking iPhone. Like, they like opened
that's
the
what I
day.
mean. Saying like, you
Yeah.
can literally make it that simple. Like, playing backtracks is as simple as just having a click and the backing track, and then a mixer to separate the two in the headphones. That's it.
Yeah. Um, to finish on POD, uh, you can tell Sonny is like a seasoned pro frontman vocalist. Like he's so good at doing his job. You can
Does he
tell
still
they've been
have
doing it for like
dreads?
yeah, you could tell he's been doing it for like 25, 30 years or something like that, you know. Like they've been
Nice.
doing it that long. And you can tell when somebody's been doing it that long. It's like when you see a comedian even if they aren't the greatest comedian, but you can tell they're a pro.
Yeah, they're
You
just in a
know?
rhythm, dude. They have,
Yeah,
yeah,
like you're like this dude may not have the greatest jokes, but he's been doing it 25, 30 years, so he knows how the fuck to work a room. Like,
yeah,
and
yeah.
that's how it felt with them, where it's like they may not be the best band on this festival, but their vocalist knows what the fuck he's doing. Like, and they
Sure, yeah,
also
yeah.
brought the lead vocalist of Suicide Silence on to do Southtown with them, and that was fucking sick. It was like them, it was Sonny and Eddie from Suicide Silence trading off on Southtown, and he was like you know, he would be like, "We're from Northtown," then Eddie would come in and be like, "Southtown," with like fucking just harsh, crazy vocals, like, and they're just trading off back and forth, and that was pretty dope to watch because they were in a great rhythm, and you could tell they've probably done it before together, and they're friends, and they know each other, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, you could
Interesting.
tell, yeah, and yeah, because like you see sometimes a guest vocalist comes on stage and kind of like ends up clashing and saying the same words as the main vocalist. They're trying to find their rhythm with each other and they just can't find it
Yeah,
necessarily.
yeah, yeah.
You've seen it before. Did not
Sure.
happen there. It was so clean where like they both were trading off perfectly where it's like this feels like you guys have done this before. Or, like you guys just know each other's rhythm or they're just both pro vocalists, you know, and they understand it. Um so
It's a
it
weird
was cool.
combo, but yeah, it sounds fun.
But it made the song Southtown like fucking heavy, and that's what made it cool. Is like POD like sort of like started chugging it and like making it a little heavier, like, and then it was trading off between Sonny's sort of clean vocals, but like still yelling, into Eddie's just harsh, just deep
I don't know if I
guttural
don't think I
screams.
know that POD song, to be honest with you.
It's just like a little bit heavier of their
Oh,
one of their
okay.
songs.
It's got some chuggy chuggy stuff in it.
A little bit, at least live, they turn it into chuggy chuggy.
Yeah, yeah.
In there, it's cool. Uh, Volbeat was next, which fuck them. Three, probably
Yeah.
two or a one.
I don't I
Maybe.
hate that dude's singing voice, to be honest with you, man.
Same. I put boring, vocally bad. I don't like their music, but he was also just even worse live. Like
Yeah.
he sounded even worse live, musically generic, and he didn't know how to talk to a crowd either. Like he didn't. He's a bad front man.
Hmm.
Like so his vocals sucked. Their music was generic, and he's a bad front man too. And like their whole performance was boring. Like nothing interesting
Damn,
about it.
Kyle.
And they were second to last of the day. They had like a lot of time. They also like got to have a bigger setup than most bands. Like and
What
their
was like
setup still
the
sucked.
what was like the audience reaction? Were they like
Some
were
people
people
loved Volbeat
stoked?
there. There was a lot of Volbeat t-shirts. So there's a lot of people who were stoked, but there's a lot of people who didn't give a fuck, you know? Like cuz there's a lot of people who are like Limp Bizkit fans cuz that's the big headliner, or like heavier music fans and stuff.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of people who didn't give a fuck and who were clearly bored
Just
and
waiting
like,
around for Limp Bizkit.
but there was a lot of people up, closer to the stage in the audience in the standing section, sort of where they were stoked about it. I saw lots of Volbeat shirts. They're a popular band at the end of the day. It's music on the radio. It's like radio music, dude. So like
Yeah,
they're
it's
a radio rock
really
band,
yeah,
so a
yeah,
lot of
yeah.
people like it. It's probably a lot of the same people that are huge fans of Highly Suspect maybe. Even though they sound different, they're on the same station.
Sure. I will say
Um
Highly Suspect is a good band though, at least. Like it might be not the kind of music I listen to on a regular basis, but I've heard a lot of their music and I'm like, they're a really solid band actually. So, and that dude's got a fucking great voice.
yes, you are correct and I agree with you, and
He
clearly
doesn't
I think
sound
they're
like
better.
a fucking dickhead when he sings, dude.
Yeah.
I hate the singer from Volbeat, and I hate that guy's singing voice.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I gave Highly Suspect a 7.5 and Volbeat a 3. I think very differently of them. And like I said, Volbeat probably should be lower. I feel like I was being generous with a 3. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
I just think the same people would be into them just because they're on the same radio station, and there's a lot of dumb people who don't know how to find music outside of what's played to them on that radio station they listen to every day. You know what I mean?
Sure, yeah. I mean, I don't know how that's a thing though when you have like Spotify where it's like it's so easy to discover great music.
But but like I'm in
I
like the
just genuinely I
Midwest.
just genuinely think that's like people's taste.
Some people, but I think there's also still a large chunk of America that just listens to like a certain Sirius XM station or a certain regular radio station in their area. That radio still is alive.
Yeah,
Like it's not a
they
dead
don't
thing.
seek it out. Yeah, they don't seek out underground bands or anything like that. Yeah, yeah.
No, they don't have interest in that. They'll just listen to the radio, hear the things that they know, or if the radio's like, "We got a new song for you," they listen to the new song that the radio has for them, and that's what they do. Like, there's a large chunk of America that's the way they still do music. Like, it's
Sure. I
crazy to
mean,
me and
especially
you
like
because we don't, but
the country fan base,
yeah, for
country
sure.
music, like those people just listen to the radio.
A lot of them. I mean, there's a lot of like smaller country artists as well, though, that are thriving inside of these other sort of areas. Like there's artists that are in
Yeah, but I'm
country
saying like
music that
consumer wise, like the people in the Midwest who listen to country, it's like they're just listening to the radio. Like
probably for the most
I
part.
know these people, like
I
I've been
think
around them.
I think you are partially right, but I think just like in the comedy industry or other industries, there's artists that are taking off of like TikTok now. Like there's country
Sure,
artists that are
yeah.
getting big off of
There's
that,
definitely exceptions. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, there's exceptions to it. I mean,
But
but
they're then
mostly
going to
you
be
are
played
correct.
on the radio and then consumed by people on the radio for the most part. Like,
You
that's
are
my
correct.
point. Yeah, yeah.
Yes, I think a big part is and not even just regular radio now, but Sirius XM is also a big part of it as well. Um, I realized that this weekend where it's like some of these heavier bands, they're blowing
Mhm.
up because they're on Sirius XM a lot. Like Slaughter to Prevail, apparently they're playing them a lot on Sirius XM.
Yeah,
Like,
they Sirius XM has like all those really like heavy metal, like liquid metal and all that shit.
yeah, it's interesting that like they're helping to make like and like Kublai Khan is gaining a fan base because they're on there as well. Like it's interesting, like bands like that are starting to get bigger because of Sirius XM. Those bands never had a radio wave for them before. Like there's no radio station for a lot of these hardcore bands and shit now. And it's
Yeah.
wild that there is a form of radio now that's helping hardcore bands. I found that very interesting. But
No, I think so too. I think that's pretty sweet.
yeah. I'll finish out my Friday there. Limp Bizkit. 9.5, highest rating of the day.
Yes.
They were phenomenal. Fred Durst being full on Fred Durst, dude. He brought a dude on stage to sing a song with him, like this young dude who was like probably 16, 17, I think. Um, and then the crowd went nuts for every song. He has great self awareness of who he is, like Fred Durst does. You
Was
know,
he
like he
making jokes and shit?
yeah, just like that's what I mean. He was being full on Fred Durst, dude. Like he's who you want him to be, but he when he talks, you can also tell he has the self awareness, like about who he is or about the perceptions of him, you know. And he even wears sort of a goofy outfit, and I think it's a wig because he seems to have his regular hair still, but he wears this goofy curly gray hair wig. Have you seen it?
I think I did see a picture on the group.
Yeah, it's like a goofy gray hair wig. He's been wearing it lately on stage and like some big goofy glasses. And I think it's a costume. I don't think that's his regular hair that he's walking around with right
No, of
now.
course not.
Yeah, and it's just like he's like being like we don't take ourselves seriously. Wes Borland had a cool ass black and white fucking costume with all body painted and shit, you know.
Yeah,
What you
yeah.
want Wes Borland to be. Um yeah, they sort of had parts where like they just kind of jammed a little bit, but they only did an hour set. Fred Durst came into the crowd and walked around the crowd for a little while, which was dope.
Yeah.
You know, like dude, just like they were what you would want for Limp Bizkit. They didn't do like uh their set like the set backing or drop like you know their whole setup on stage wasn't anything too crazy. It was all like every part of it felt like what that member of the band wanted for themselves. Like Wes Borland's setup was like a setup of like these amps on top of each, like just like I think like 6 amps, and they're all like painted with like Wes Borland's art and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
You're like, so this is his design. The DJ booth was in the middle on like this sort of like pedestal up in the middle, and which is like where the drums were for every other band, and then the drummer was off to like the right side of the stage on like a platform, and you're like,
Yeah,
this
yeah.
feels like what each band member kind of wants for themselves, you know, and nothing too much more. Um,
That's pretty dope though.
yeah, and it felt subtle, but also very much I don't know where they are now. Like they used to have really big obnoxious stage setups, like a toilet on stage that they would come out of, you know. They've just like they made it more subtle and like they're
Yeah.
just like they also don't sell merch. I already knew this about them, but it's like a bunch of people were pissed off. Like Limp Bizkit's not fucking selling merch, and it's like, dog. Fred Durst has talked about this publicly. Like they don't sell merch online. They don't have an online merch store. They don't sell merch at shows or anything. He's like, yeah, I don't want to sell merch. He's like, I just want the music to stand for whatever, or to be whatever it is, and for fans to enjoy us for what we are. He's
They
like,
don't sell
some
merch
shit like that.
online?
No,
Really?
so there's bootleg merch out there and stuff, but they don't sell merch on
Okay.
their own. They don't have a merch store.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
It's a lot of money on the
He's not
table, dude.
interested. Right? You would think, but he's just not interested in it.
Well, you'd think that like the label has some push on that too or something.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, I guess not because it's not out there, and it hasn't been for a minute. But
Interesting.
yeah, I could jump into Saturday now if you want me to.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
or we could save it for next week because we are probably past an hour now.
yeah.
No, we definitely are. Yeah,
Okay. All right. Yeah, we could do Saturday and Sunday on the next one.
yeah.
I
We'll
mean,
wrap it up this episode because like the last episode I had to cut down and
okay.
it was still like an hour 15.
Yeah, we went long on that one. Yeah, it's hard to not talk about these bands, in depth and
I mean,
talk about their sets
it's a
much.
lot to break down. Plus, like there's like a lot of trashiness on the festival to discuss that
Yeah, we
we
went through
had
all
to
the
make fun of.
trashiness. Yeah.
I don't even think we got through a quarter of it, to be honest with you, but
Yeah, it's a
I'm
lot.
sure I can find more for next week when we're just finished discussing the bands. So I'll go through.
I'm sure there was a lot of people in the group complaining about crowd surfers,
I
dude.
saw,
So
yeah.
many
These
people
people
being
being
like,
little bitches, dude.
yeah, they're like, fucking people shouldn't be crowd surfing, and it's like, oh, you made a post, so now they'll all stop. Good job.
Yeah, yeah.
What are you hoping to really accomplish with this? Like, you're not actually gonna stop this from happening by making this post, you dummy. Like,
No, if anything, people are just gonna do it more.
yeah, and it's so funny.
Like, do you
Everybody,
not understand how social media works, dude?
yeah, man, it was wild. But all right, I guess we'll wrap it up on that then, and next time we'll jump into what Saturday and Sunday looked like.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. Also, I'll find more posts because there's a lot to go through on that in that group where you're just like, Jesus Christ, these people, dude.
yeah, it was a lot of like these people, man. Like my whole weekend, I kept being like, I
I can't
kept.
believe you endured that whole weekend by yourself.
I'll be honest. A lot of times, like when I was at the festival, I'd just look around at things happening around me, and like I would just have to think to myself and be like, man, these are my people, I guess. like,
I don't claim them at all.
I don't want to, but I was a part of it.
Then don't. You were a part of it, and you're a part of the problem. But
Yeah. I also look
yeah,
around and
no,
I'm like, the worst part is though I look at a lot of like the white trash that was around me, which was like so much, and I look at them, and every time I was like, these are my people, I guess. I'm like, these aren't my people. And then I think about it, and I'm like, these do look like the people I grew up with. Like, I'm like, so these are kind of like, I
that
mean,
festival could have easily taken place in Waterford, and
yeah,
it would have looked about the same.
probably would have. I think you're right. And
Yeah.
that's the thing is I kept looking around and being like, oh, I'm not one of these. And I'm like,
Were you
but
ever
they
like
look like
bored out of
me.
your mind being there by yourself? Were there ever points where you're just like, God, I wish I had a buddy with me right now?
A couple times, yeah, a few times. There's definitely like some times where I wish I had somebody there with me. I mean, because
Fucking
there's some
Mr. Lonely
bands.
is just playing in your head.
There's always something going on though at any given
Yeah.
moment. Like even at the campgrounds at night, if you didn't want to go to bed immediately, there's bands playing in the cafeterias open till like 1 a.m. or something. Like, and it's like there's always something going on where it's like you could find something to do even during the day. It's like there's 5 minutes between each band's set.
Did you make any friends or did you just keep to yourself the whole weekend? Mr. Antisocial. You didn't make any did you talk to any people?
I talk to people, but I also like the whole time I was like, I don't know that I want to be friends with any of these people.
You didn't like group up with anybody for like a little while at any certain point?
Nah, not really. I,
Damn,
no,
Kyle.
dude, I'm like, I'm pretty antisocial. I mean, for
Yeah.
the most part, you know me.
Yeah, yeah, I get it. I
I
get
was
it.
always the dude who that comedy show sits in the back of the room with my hoodie on. Like it's
Fair enough, dude.
so I don't know. It's like I talk to people occasionally, but it's like nobody like became a friend where I was like, oh yeah, we should be friends on Facebook or something. Like nothing was like that ever.
I didn't
I
even mean
mean,
like that. I mean, just you didn't like group up with anybody. We were like, yeah, we should hang out for
nah,
like
because
at the
it's like
fest.
I also felt like I was very much going to see the bands I want to see, and I was going to do it in the order I wanted to. And it's like,
Yeah,
I'm not trying to follow somebody else's schedule, was part of it. So I was like, if I group up with these people, I don't want to be like, nah, I'm going to go do that. I was like, I'm just keeping it to myself and do my own schedule. And if I talk to random people along the way, we'll talk to people. So I
yeah,
talked to
no,
people. I tried being open to interactions and not just, I didn't I didn't usually just start the conversation. A couple times I did, but I don't know, man.
for sure, man.
Again, like I said, a lot of the people were like such trash. Where I was just like, I didn't want to talk to most of them. Like, it
Yeah,
sounds
it does
bad,
sound
but
like
it's
we're being
true.
really mean because we didn't like go through a lot of the posts, but dude, Well, no, I'll find more. I'll find more stuff.
You like I'm telling you as somebody who was there, it was trashy. Like it is
No, I know. I
so
saw.
much
I
white
believe you.
trash.
I totally believe you. But to the listener, it just sounds like we're being mean. No, that we're being 100% honest.
Saturday was Pantera Day. That was what I call it, Pantera Day, because Pantera was the headliner. It was the most white trash of the whole entire weekend. It was the most methed out fucking audience I saw of that. There was 3 days, and that audience looked a little bit different than the other 2 days. I will say that. Like it was a
Yeah.
lot of dudes in like Pantera shirts they bought from Kohl's. Like it was a lot of that.
Yeah.
Like
It's wild
with
that
the sleeves cut off.
you can get Pantera merch with Cole's cash. That is crazy. But all
Yeah.
right, dude. We
All
should
right.
wrap this up.
All right. All right, man. Cool. Well, this was episode 18. Thank you for listening. Anybody who listened, we appreciate it. Tell your friends, tell your family, like us, subscribe, leave us a review, whatever, you know. Follow us on social media. I am Kyle Forsyth. The podcast is at Unless You Live Hardcore. Jake?
I'm at comic Jake Ford. Yeah, dude. Follow me.
Dope. Thank you for listening,
Yeah,
everybody.
dude.
Talk to y'all next week.